Monday marks 1 year since tragedy struck the Las Vegas community. The weekend leading up to the year-end mark will be full of emotion, full of grief, and hopefully some hope.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But the memories of what happened on 1 October can be very difficult for kids to handle. How best to guide them through this anniversary is the subject of tonight's Vegas Lost. Here's News 3's John Trainer.
Now, our home will never be the same. While some scars are visible, others are well below the surface, and the healing happens with hard conversations.
It's a day that will bring us back to the 10 minutes of terror on the Las Vegas Strip, back to the year of healing and of loss since. A day of remembrance that can be, potentially, damaging for our kids.
These are life-changing events, and that's what they do. So you never go back to the way you were, and you don't forget about them.
Dr. David Schonfeld is an expert on crisis. He tells us that kids, once directly affected and ones that just heard about the Las Vegas shooting, can hold their fear, their grief inside.
To be quite honest, often you see no symptoms. So I would say that if something tragic has happened in your community, and there's a very high likelihood that your children will find out about it. And I can't imagine living in this community and not having heard about what occurred. Then I think it's really up to the adults to start the conversation.
But there are symptoms you can look for, signs that your kid might be having a hard time dealing with tragedy, difficulty sleeping, changes in eating habits, irritability or sadness. Older children might start abusing substances. Kids could start acting more immature. They might regress socially. The responsibility is on adults, parents. All parents should have conversations with their kids as young as kindergartners, about what happened on October 1st. Engage your children, even if it's a hard conversation to have.
Obviously, what we want to do is protect children from adverse situations, and we should take the steps to do that. But when it's happened, if we don't talk about it, that doesn't undo what's happened. That just means that we're not helping them with their feelings associated with it, we're not helping them understand it, and we're communicating to them that either we're not interested in how they feel, we don't think it's appropriate to talk about it, we don't feel that we can be of help to them. So saying nothing actually says a whole lot to kids, and unfortunately that message isn't helpful.
And again, these are impossibly hard conversations to have. The parents want to shield their kids, rightfully so. So if you want tips on how to broach this subject with your kids, that info on the Las Vegas Resiliency website. Don't worry, we have a link to that on ours as well.
You really brought up a good point in the end, that even by staying quiet, you're saying something to your kids.
Exactly. A lot of times these kids worry about you, so they don't want to talk to you about it. And
Sure.
saying the same thing back to them sends a message.
Well, and how we model to them how we respond to difficult things is how they will respond to difficult things as they grow. So we have to start here and now.
Exactly right.
Thanks.
All right, if you have some thoughts about this you'd like to talk to John about, he loves to hear them. And if you've got ideas for other stories we can cover under Vegas Lost, just email those to us. The address, vegaslost@news3lv.com. And John is headed over to his computer in the newsroom right now. He'll be taking your questions and comments live on Facebook.
All right, the next big project in Las Vegas.